Okay, another Retevis radio. These guys are busy, man. They're building radios all the time. They sent this to me. This is a model NR30, and supposedly has some noise reduction built into it, which is always nice. So let's take a look at it. This is a GMRS radio, so you must have a license. It's feels very good, solid build. One of the things that I found very odd, though, there's no display, which I guess is okay. I'm not a big fan of no display, but GMRS, okay, I can kind of get it. Really, all you want to know is what channel you want, and you're going to transmit, and that's all you're ever going to want to do. So you're not going to program the radio. You're not going to be looking at it. I mean, you really don't need any information. It's just kind of weird not having one. It's more like a walkie-talkie, right? So there's a volume knob.
1.
It says 1. You're on channel 1. There's a knob here.
2, 3, 4.
So you don't know what channel you're on now. We're on channel 4, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it back on and see if it's on channel 4. 4. Okay, so it stays on the last channel you were on, but you really don't know what that channel is unless you move the knob. And there's no lock on the knob, so you could bump it, I suppose.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30.
30. So it's 1 through 30 in channels. There's a transmit button, then there's 2 additional buttons for functions. The first button is power level, and the second button is noise reduction, whether you want that on or off. And that's about it. Like I said, it's pretty heavy on the hand. Let's take a look at the battery here. It has a how does the battery, there we go. It slides off. So I like that way of mounting the battery a lot. It has a bunch of gold contacts on the battery and then gold contacts on the radio. So I really like this setup. This is nice. Since it's a 2800 milliamp hour battery, there we go. It does come with a drop-in charger. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's nice. The drop-in charger is powered up with USB-C, and a really nice feature of the battery pack is that it also has a USB-C connector on it. So you can either use the drop-in charger, or you can just hook it up directly with a USB cable, which comes with it. And there is a charge indicator light right here that turns red when orange red when it's depleted, and green when it's fully charged. Now there is a thing over here for speaker microphone. It might not be what you expect, though. So let me open it up. There's a little thumb wheel here, and I do not like this. There we go. I do not like this. It just falls off, and it's going to get lost. And there's a little rubber grommet on here, but that little rubber grommet just falls off, as you see there. So yeah, this is a big fail, I think. So if Retevis is watching, I really think this is poor design. And then, so there's no way to hook up a standard microphone or standard earphone, like you're used to. It's just this weird contacty pad thing here. So if you're going to get this radio, expect to only use it like this, not with any attachments. It's just not going to work. Now, if you want to program this thing, it does come with a programming cable, but it's a really weird programming cable because it has to connect with this thing. So it's got some little gold pogo pins, and it goes on like so. So that's kind of weird, but it does work. It's a regular USB dongle, USB to serial dongle type of thing. And it does come with programming software. And you can set the channels, you can set the power levels, you can set the wide FM, narrow FM, you can do all that kind of thing. I think you can also set groups. So when you key down or maybe listening. I don't know how that works. It has some kind of group feature where you can broadcast to multiple groups, I think. Yeah, kind of weird. I haven't seen that before. Let's take a look at the book here. 30 channels, 50 ohms, less than 10 watts. Which is interesting because I think GMRS standards is 5 watts for a portable, 50 watts for a base station. So if you can't program this thing more than 5 watts, you probably need to stay stationary. Let's see here, transmitting, blah, 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 blah. Here's all the... So it comes pre-programmed with a whole bunch of codes and tones and stuff, and I don't know why they do that. They should just ship it without any of that stuff on it. Yeah, the book doesn't really have a lot of info in it. Let's see here. Factor default. Okay, so the first power switch, first button here is power, like I said. The second one is noise reduction. Monitor function, shortly long press to monitor, turn on the function to monitor whether there's, yeah, so there's a way that you press the buttons and it ignores any tones or codes and stuff. It'll listen to anybody. There's a scan function. There is a channel lock function. So you can lock it onto a channel. So there you go. If you're going to use it, you might want to, your group or whatever, you might want to pick whatever frequency you're going to be onto and then just lock down the channel. So that looks good to me. Comes with a thing on the back. Yeah, let's see what else there's to talk about. Yeah, let's go give it a test. All right, so before we can do any tests, we need to remove the antenna. Now there's some things you need to know about removing this antenna. First of all, there is a little rubber ring, okay, on the end of the, can you see that? Right there at the end of the antenna. And you need to pull that little rubber ring back, okay? And you'll find a set screw, okay? You can see that. There's a set screw right there. You need to loosen. You need to loosen the set screw, and then it's going to still be hard to take off the radio because they put some Loctite on it. This is not to be removed, but I need to remove it to do these tests. But if you buy one, just don't remove it. But it is just a regular SMA, but does have some thread lock of some type on there, and it is difficult to get off. I've kind of boogered mine up with a big set of pliers on it, but I don't care. And so, yeah, we'll do that. We'll go over here to, well, anyway, we need to take it off. We'll take it off and go over and do some tests. All right, let's test the output power here. Let's see, we'll do a transmit test. And we'll just turn the radio on. I charged it up last night, so it's fully charged.
1.
Okay, channel 1. This button here, it will change the power level. So if I press it, there's one button, 1 beep, 2 beeps, 3 beeps. So it's low power, mid power, high power. So it should be on low power. We'll transmit, and we get 0.7 watts. Okay. Okay, mid power, 5 watts, right on the nose. And then high power, 9.3 watts. So yeah, pretty healthy. Nice. So the next test we'll do is Spectral Purity. Have the radio hooked up into a 10 watt attenuator, 30 dB. And so we can transmit into the spectrum analyzer without killing it. The other machine that I had a 60 watt attenuator built into it, so you don't need to have any attenuator when you hook it up to that, but it's a very specialized radio test set, and this is just a regular spectrum analyzer, so please include a attenuator if you do types of tests like this. So let me transmit here. We're getting a carrier. So I have the sweep set to 400 to 1.5 gigahertz to try to check for any spurs. And so this is low power. I don't see any spurs. Let's go to medium power. A little bit higher. I don't see any spurs. Again, high power. And I don't see any spurs, so very nice. Retevis usually does a really good job of killing any spurs, so passes that test. All right, try to do a test here. This is with the noise reduction on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now turn it off. And this is, I think, normal mode. Sounds pretty typical with a little bit more noise on it. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, there you go. That was my review of the NR30 Retevis GMRS radio. I recommend it highly if you're willing to ignore no display. And it does have very nice audio with the noise reduction, which is, I guess, is why they called it the NR, noise reduction. And yeah, there you go. High power also, right?